In my first impressions video of the English version of Golden Terrace or Huang, I promised you a full review and I'm delivering on that promise. In this video, I'll cover the novel's structure, the story, the characters, and answer that most important question, is it spicy? And finally, I'll have some closing notes. I'll try to keep the spoilers to a minimum, but if you haven't read Golden Terrace yet, I suggest watching the first impressions video instead if you want to stay spoiler-free. The English version is published by Peach Flower House and is sold as 2 volumes. Each volume is about 400 pages long, including the glossary, plus Volume 2 has 5 extra chapters. All very normal, nothing to complain about here, really. However, if you're used to seeing illustrated pages like some other translated Dan may have, Golden Terrace has none. So you're gonna need to use your imagination to visualize the characters, or you could just look for the official artwork online. I have some of them in this video for your benefit. I have more to say about this later in the video. One detail I do like is this chapter section break in the shape of a bingdilian or double lotus. This flower appears several times in the story, and I think it's a nice touch. If I had to nitpick anything about the books, it would be that the protective coating of my copies had started to peel off. I like to think that I'm very careful with my books. I don't stuff them carelessly into a bag or bookshelf, so I'm a little disappointed that the covers have started to break down. But you know what? I don't buy books just for their covers, so let's talk about the story. In my first impressions video, I highlighted that Golden Terrace is heavy on political and social drama, and this is what the main characters Fu Xin and Yan Xiaohan struggle against throughout the story. Yan Xiaohan has his hands full doing the emperor's bidding and keeping the emperor alive. Meanwhile, Fu Xin is busy keeping the empire's borders safe from foreign armies and narrowly avoids an attempt on his life. The story spans a number of years, and these two are apart frequently, even after they get married. So sometimes the chapter is from Fu Xian's point of view, and sometimes from Yan Xiaohan's. The storytelling isn't messy though. It's easy to follow along, and the pacing doesn't drag either. And through all of it, the titular Golden Terrace witnesses the major events of their lives. It's not all doom and gloom though. In Golden Terrace, there are pockets of humor which show the brilliance of the author Zhang Binbai and of the translator as well. There's a time when Fu Xian catches Yan Xiaohan at a brothel. He was there for work, really. And the time when Fu Xian uses a goose to send a message to Yan Xiaohan. It's impossible to talk about the story further without talking about the characters, so let's do that next. I would describe Yan Xiaohan as a career politician, the adopted son of a eunuch. Author Zhang Binbai clearly marks his status through this passage. In Great Zhou, the nobles looked down on scholars, the scholars looked down on ordinary civil officials, the civil officials looked down on military officials, and what all of them looked down on were palace eunuchs. Tuan Linglong was foremost among the palace eunuchs at the time. One could well imagine how Yan Xiaohan, who acknowledged a court eunuch as his adopted father, would be even lower than a court eunuch in their eyes. Yan Xiaohan is not afraid of lying, scheming, and killing his way to the top of the food chain. And at the beginning of Golden Terrace, at the age of 25, he holds the title of Imperial Investigator and is Emperor Yuantai's right-hand man. Behind Yan Xiaohan's back, he is called an Imperial Dog, but fearlessly and shamelessly, he does the Emperor's bidding, fabricating arrests of the Emperor's enemies, and forcing them to confess or destroy themselves. But he draws the line wherever Fu Xian is involved. Fu Xian was born into a military family. His grandfather was rewarded by the emperor the title of Duke of Ying for his services to the empire, so Fu Xian is considered an aristocrat as well. Sadly, the demands of duty on the Fu family take their toll. Fu Shen's grandfather, father, and second uncle all die in battle, one after the other, and thus, at the age of 18, Fu Shen himself is sent to the empire's northern borders as a general. Against all odds, he succeeds in leading his troops. Throughout the novel, people say again and again that as long as General Fu is alive, the country can be at peace. Yet, protecting his country proves to be a thankless job. The more successful General Fu becomes, the more suspicious Emperor Yuantai and his court are of his growing influence. It's no wonder that Fu Shen is cold and aloof towards most people. He only acts sajiao, or like a spoiled child, in private with Yan Xiaohan, but only when Fu Shen is in a good mood. His sister Fu Ling describes him as "the ge is cold on the outside, but warm on the inside. He just never has any mercy when he speaks." Or, the manga and anime fans among you might describe him as tsundere. Anyway, back to our couple. I think that the relationship between Yan Xiaohan and Fu Shen is very well conveyed in Golden Terrace by the author and also the translator. These two fight, flirt, play pranks on each other, and even scold each other if they think the other person is being stupid. They also keep secrets from each other, but when all's said and done, they are each other's strongest and most loyal supporter. In other words, their interactions are typical of real-life couples, making them relatable and believable. Fu Shen and Yan Xiaohan's interactions are also heartbreaking for me because it seems like they reserve their very best selves for each other and for a select few family members and friends. They have to be constantly on guard against everyone else because a lot of people are hell-bent on ruining them for political or personal gain. I imagine that the world of Golden Terrace is like a hyper-competitive school or work environment where you need to look out for yourself because betrayal is lurking at every corner. Can you imagine how exhausting that would be? I have so much to say about this couple and their relationship, but this review would become too long, and I think the topic deserves its own video. Now, let's go to the question that every BL fan asks. Is it spicy? You will need headphones for this section. I do admit that while I was waiting for the books to arrive, I was doubtful of how good the story would be because my feeds dug up snippets of the Chinese audio drama that sounded like this. At that point, I was thinking, well, I hope the novel doesn't turn out to be smut with some story fitted around it, because that's what AO3 is for. Thankfully, the story is solid and substantial, and I'm very happy with it. To answer the original question, yes, Golden Terrace is very spicy, but it's done in a creative way. Don't expect it to be like Arha. Instead, you'll get sections saying, Fu Shen woke up the next morning and found himself covered in love bites. Or there's scenes like the following. A cool breeze blew by. The leaves rustled. When night had completely fallen, two immaculately dressed men at last walked out of the small forest. One of them was clearly faltering in his stride, shaking once for every 3 steps. The other man couldn't stand to watch this. He picked him up and placed him on horseback. So if you thought Wang Xian had a patent for doing it in the bushes, think again. Golden Terrace has a solid story, and Fu Shen and Yan Xiaohan are right up there with Hualian on my best married couples list. Plus, Golden Terrace has the romance, drama, and spicy something-somethings that a Danmei fan looks for. Which makes me ask, why doesn't there seem to be a bigger Golden Terrace fandom? The English version has sold out at least twice, which means people are reading it. I know there's Golden Terrace fans out there, because there's at least one who made this live-action fan movie. When I was searching for Golden Terrace images, most of them are from one Tumblr account and one blog. Where's the pages and pages of fan art? Where's the song vids? Where are the vines? Thousand Autumns has vines. Shapo Lang has vines. Where are the Golden Terrace vines? Anyway, if you've read Golden Terrace and loved it, please leave a comment and let me know you exist. If you haven't read it yet, here's a handy slide to help you make your decision. If you have already decided to get the English version, while I was editing this, I checked the Peach Flower House website, and both volumes are back in stock. The last print run sold out within a month, so it's better to get your order in sooner rather than later. And that's it for this review. I might do a few follow-up videos to go deeper into some aspects of the novel. Thanks for watching!